Hello and welcome to the Ice Guys, brought to you by the Hockey Podcast Network. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a sports betting perspective. With pro handicappers Alex B. Smith and veteran sports writer Jimmy Murphy. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to the Ice Guys, presented by the Hockey Podcast Network. Saturday, November 27th, Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, ready to break down the Saturday NHL card. That was a fun, exciting, big card yesterday, and it's weird to see a Saturday card that's actually smaller than the Friday slate. We get this around this time of year. We've got just a 9-game slate to go with tonight, but still looking forward to it. Let's start with Seattle taking on Florida. We've got Florida minus 200 home favorites, 5.5, 6 the total in this one. The Seattle Kraken, tough start to this really tough back-to-back for them. They get shut out and blanked 3-0 by Tampa. Florida ends up losing 4-3 to Washington, and Alex Ovechkin goes off. Where have we seen that before? Definitely seen that a lot, and we saw it again last night. Great performance for Ovechkin, leading the Capitals to that victory against Florida, a Florida team that just hasn't lost too many games this year, and when they have lost, they've done a pretty good job for the most part, bouncing back. Both of these teams on the second of back-to-back games coming into this one, and both teams winless on back-to-backs this year. But I think at this point in time, you just got to rely on the team that's playing better hockey. Again, it's been a brutal run on the road, 7 straight road losses for Seattle coming into this game. They're not scoring defensively. The goaltending's been up and down as well. Now it's going to be Chris Driedger tonight in net for Seattle after Grubauer got the start yesterday. But to me, when you got one team that's struggling, the better team, both in the similar scheduling spot on the back-to-back, I think you just trust the better team probably to get the job done. So I am on Florida here at minus 135 in regulation to get the job done against Seattle. Probably will be Spencer Knight in goal for the Panthers. With Bobrovsky starting yesterday, I'd expect to see Knight be the guy for Florida here. Alex, what do you like here, Kraken and Panthers?
I'm going to go with Florida here on the first period puck line. You can get plus 125 at that laying the half a goal. I'm not going to try and rely on Seattle to give me a goal like I needed yesterday in the first and second periods. I had the over in those, and unfortunately just got one goal each from Tampa Bay. So, like I said, they're in poor form right now. I think Florida will be able to kind of take advantage of that, even though they aren't playing their best hockey like they did at the beginning of the year. But they still should be able to, a half effort should be enough to beat the Seattle team right now the way they're playing on the road. So I'll go Panthers with the first period puck line.
All right, I like that one too. That's and good value, of course, with that as well. When you're talking about the puck line, you can get that. You can get that at a nice plus price here with Florida with that first period puck line minus a half, plus 130 in that range. Edmonton, Vegas. We've got Vegas minus 130 home favorite, 6 the total in this one. Should be a good one with these two teams. Vegas has got a lot of their key pieces back now and healthy, including, of course, Max Pacioretty. It was great to see him return to the Golden Knights lineup in that last game against Nashville. The 5-2 win, missed 17 games with that foot injury. So all of a sudden, Stone came back, a couple weeks ago and starting to get healthier. Still no Carlson and Martinez, but everybody else, for the most part, is back in the lineup and accounted for again on this Vegas team who, even with all the key absences littered throughout the team, they've still played good hockey during this stretch, 7-3 in their last 10 games, which has been good to see. We'll see if they can keep it up here against Edmonton, who have won 3 of their last 4. They lost to the suddenly hot Dallas Stars 4-1, but they won the other 3 of their last 4 against Winnipeg, Chicago, and Arizona. Very predictably, you bet on McDavid and Draisaitl to score goals after a loss. They normally do that when they get shut down. They didn't do anything against Dallas, and they basically erupted in the 5-3 win against Arizona the night after. So, it's two teams that I'm not rushing to bet against either one. Vegas at home, it's actually a cheap number for Vegas at home. We don't see the minus 125, minus 130 at home very often, but that's a product of playing a very good Edmonton team. So I'm not betting the side, but I'm going to go over the total here with Edmonton and Vegas. I think you'll see, again, Vegas is now much better offensively right now with obviously Pacioretty returning, and they've gotten Riley Smith and some other key contributors stepping up for them. He's been good lately. Dadonov's also chipped in offensively during this run. Marchessault has given them some spark as well and some production. Yeah, I think they'll find the back of the net. And just right now with Edmonton, with these totals of 6, it's hard to make a case for the unders right now. Dallas was the one exception, but keep in mind, Dallas playing better defensively, and Jake Ottinger has really played well for them. And I think Edmonton just fell into that trap where playing a good team and a hot goalie in that one game that stayed under against Dallas. So I'm going to go over 6 here with the Oilers and the Golden Knights. Alex, Edmonton, Vegas.
Yeah, you say we don't see Vegas at this cheap of a price at home. We don't see Edmonton as an underdog that often these days either, and that's kind of an interesting thing. My guess is that the books are probably expecting to see possibly Skinner and net would be the reason for a dog price here. So I would wait and see who's in net for the Oilers before firing anything. But if I had to play something right now, it would definitely be the over. I don't really want to side with either team. Like this could be a good spot for Vegas. Also, the end of a short 3-game road trip. Kind of a weird schedule for Edmonton. This is their last road game in this stretch. They go home for one in a few days against Pittsburgh. Then they hit the road for Seattle before they end up having a 6-game homestand. So might want to be looking if they're gonna fade Edmonton, which is something I haven't done much at all this year. But if you are, this and the next road game, it might be some tricky spots for them moving forward.
All right, Buffalo, Detroit. We've got Detroit minus 190, home favorites, 5.5 the total. Don't see the Red Wings laying almost minus 200 very often, but obviously they're playing a Buffalo team though that they've struggled, but they did get a victory last night, 4-1 against Montreal. Another good game in net from Dustin Tokarski. So he's had a few good games recently in net for the Sabres, and of course he had to come in and mop up duty against Boston as well in that game, and of course he stole a game for Buffalo against Pittsburgh a couple weeks ago. So Tokarski's actually been pretty solid in net for the Sabres, and he was good again last night. Buffalo is really, giving you a pretty good effort in the majority of games. However, their defensive game has struggled, and the concern is last night, the defensive game, they still gave up, a decent amount of shots and chances, but they had Tokarski there to bail them out. With this being a back-to-back, there may not be Tokarski, and if there's no Tokarski, you're going to see Farmer in the Dell, Aaron Dell for the Buffalo Sabres. The red light district seems to be present whenever he's in between the pipes lately. I mean, to say he's been bad is an understatement. 4.57 goals against average, 862 save percentage. Those are some of the worst numbers you could ask for from a starting goaltender in this game. So I want no part of Buffalo. If he's going to be in net, and there's a good chance of that with this being the back-to-back for Buffalo after playing Montreal last night. But I will be on the over for sure. You can mark that down if we see Aaron Dell confirmed in net in this game. As far as Detroit is concerned, look, I know, offensively it's been hit or miss at times, especially on that road trip. They struggled to score goals, but they came back home following that trip against St. Louis, and very impressively, they put up 4 goals in that game and got their offense going a little bit. So certainly a sign they could get it going tonight as well against Buffalo, especially if it's Aaron Dell in net. So nothing confirmed yet. This is one of those games I'm waiting to see that we get an Aaron Dell confirmation. But if we do, I would only look Detroit in regulation, and I'll certainly be on the over 5.5 here if that's the case. Alex, Red Wing Sabres.
Yeah, like I said, I need a trash can light, because when that comes on, that means Aaron Dell's confirmed, and that means we're going to be betting the over. So wherever I am today, you follow me on Twitter, AX Smith Sports. If I tweet the trash can out, that means it's Aaron Dell in that. That means we're going over 5.5. So that's what I'm waiting for as well.
Yeah, I might even go team total Detroit over as well, because I haven't taken advantage of that enough. I've been betting the full game overs, but even the team totals, hone in on those as well. Because obviously, if you did that in a lot of Aaron Dell's recent starts, the Boston game earlier this week as an example, you're doing pretty good with that. He got chased from the net very early in that game, and then we're holding on for dear life late in the third period, needing that late goal to win that. We talked about that yesterday. That over should have cashed a lot earlier than it did. But nevertheless, it finally did get there. We'll take it. Ottawa, Los Angeles. We've got LA minus 190, home favorites, 5.5 the total. Ottawa shut out by Anaheim. The struggles continue. Just one win in their last 9 or 10 games. It's been a rough stretch for Ottawa. They're winless since they returned. The effort was not as good. The performance wasn't as good yesterday against Anaheim, at least in the Colorado loss and the San Jose loss. I thought they played pretty well for a large part of both games. They didn't do that yesterday. They got shut down. They just could not really get any sustained offensive zone time in that game, and that would be the concern. Now, LA is reeling. It's hard to lay this price with Los Angeles, but it feels like Ottawa, a lot of teams are treating them right now like their get well spot or get right spot. Anaheim did after a little bit of a losing streak yesterday. Maybe LA does here. It's just a game I'm going to stay off. I mean, I'm not taking Ottawa again, but at this price with LA, no thanks. So it's a pass for me. What do you think here, Alex? Senators and Kings.
I'll go with team total over 3.5 with LA at plus 110. I think they should be able to kind of take out some of that frustration they built up from losing, getting crushed at home on national TV against Toronto, and take it out on this Ottawa team, I should say. And just giving up goals in bunches. I don't see where the floodgates stop with this Oilers Ottawa defense and goaltending right now. So LA, you can't really trust them usually to score 3 or 4 goals, but I think here this is a good spot. They should be in good enough form to get that done.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Obviously, they've given up 4+ Ottawa in all 3 games since they returned from their COVID-19 pause. So that would indicate maybe this is the opportunity that the LA Kings have been looking for to get their offense rolling a little bit in this game. All right, Montreal and Pittsburgh. Next up here, we've got Pittsburgh minus 220, home favorites, 5.5 the total in this game. The surging Pittsburgh Penguins, and a Pittsburgh team that while they're playing great hockey, they've won 5 straight. They are winning games in a different fashion than we're accustomed to throughout the majority of the Sidney Crosby era. Usually it's high-flying offense and 5-4 type of wins. No, it's team defense and solid goaltending from Tristan Jarry and a commitment to team defense throughout the lineup. Not only the defensemen, but the forwards in a back-checking role. A lot of their forwards playing a strong two-way game, commitment to that side of the puck, the defensive side for Mike Sullivan's team, and it's been very good to see. There's obviously this is Pittsburgh or pass for me. Of course, I cashed a best bet on the Ice Guys show yesterday with Pittsburgh minus 140 against the Islanders. It was close, but they got it done. 1-0 shutout in that game. And again, their team defense has been outstanding. Montreal, the problems continue for them. 1-6 in their last 7. Another loss last night to Buffalo by a score of 4-1. So the struggles continue for this Canadiens team. They've just had an absolutely dismal season. It is, I guess you could say, a little bit of a revenge spot for Montreal because they got embarrassed by Pittsburgh 6-0 in Montreal recently. That's the one thing that concerns me, but I don't know if Montreal's good enough to do anything about it right now. They're just not finding ways. They're not scoring consistently. The defense and the goaltending has just been a problem right now. Even with Jake Allen confirmed and in net, Jake Allen's play has kind of declined, and that's part and parcel with the fact they haven't played well in front of him. So Pittsburgh or pass, but I'll probably end up passing this time around, especially with the back-to-back situation for both teams. Alex, Canadiens, Penguins.
Yeah, I like this first period over here a lot. We got Montreal that's been kind of giving up goals early. Pittsburgh's been in decent form, despite what the numbers say as far as early in games, and we're going with the first period over. So, like I said, with Jake Allen being a bit shaky too, and like I said, we weren't going to expect Pittsburgh to start being a team where they're only going to allow 2 goals or fewer for a gigantic stretch of time. So I like the scoring early. I don't want anything to do with the size, so I just go with the first period over.
All right, Columbus, St. Louis. We've got St. Louis minus 180, home favorites, 6 the total in this game. I'm a little bit surprised the total was 6 and kind of disappointed it is because I think you're going to see Korpisalo tonight. He's not been as good as obviously Merzlikins, who played well in the victory against Vancouver last night. Yeah, it is going to be Jonas Korpisalo here, who has a 3.63 goals against, 894 save percentage. Remember, his last start was against Buffalo early this week on Monday, and we know what we saw in that game. It was a shootout, back and forth. Korpisalo ended up giving up 4 goals on 33 shots in that game, but again, Columbus gave him the goal support in that game, and that's why he was able to win it, but he didn't play great, Korpisalo, in that one. So I definitely have the over circled here. I still probably will bet it at 6. I was hoping for 5.5, but I'll probably still go ahead with it at this number. As far as the side goes, you've got St. Louis off the overtime loss to Chicago, 3-2 last night, and looking to bounce back here. I'll tell you what, don't sell Columbus short. They've 5-1 their last 6 games. They beat Winnipeg, although Winnipeg's struggling right now, clearly, after what we saw yesterday, but still a very impressive win for the Columbus Blue Jackets against Winnipeg. As far as these two teams go, Columbus has not been good on back-to-backs recently. 1-6 in their last 7 games, the Blue Jackets, on the second night of back-to-back games. Of course, it's back-to-back for both teams. I haven't bet the Blues a lot lately, but I definitely like the over, and I might also add St. Louis in regulation here. They have been good off losses. They've been one of those teams. They've won one, lost one lately. Feels like their spot. And again, Korpisalo has just not given me a whole lot of confidence his playing net lately for the Blue Jackets. So over the total, and I would maybe also go with St. Louis in regulation here as well. Alex, what do you think? Blue Jackets, Blues.
This is when I do like the first period over with, but I want to wait and get that down to a better price than $1.40. This is one I think we can get maybe $1.25 or better within the first 2 minutes. I don't think we're going to see a goal that early, but I think we will see a 2 within the first frame. Full game over, probably the same theory. At 6, yeah, it could go over 6, but if you wait a little bit, you can probably get a better adjusted price. But you got to wait maybe 5 or 10 minutes for that to go down to 5.5 at a reasonable price. It's because they will open up 5.5 minus. I've seen it open minus 280 sometimes. So that's the one kind of caveat we're waiting for first period overs as opposed to full game overs. So just kind of want to make a note of that. But I like the first period over more, so I'm just going to wait in game for that.
All right, we have Dallas and Arizona. Dallas minus 180 to minus 190 as road favorites here, 5.5 the total, shaded to the under in this game. The Dallas Stars are probably finally for the first time this year playing great hockey. 5-1 their last 6. They've been great at home. They've won 5 straight home games. Now, can they take that type of performance with them on the road? Ends up being the question because it's their road record that isn't as good. Dallas this year 6-3 at home, just 3-6. On the road, but it's canceled out by the fact Arizona's 2-6 at home. So I don't know. This is tricky. I mean, Dallas to me looks like a go-with team, a bet-on team right now. They're playing good, but it is back-to-back. And a lot of these wins have been Jake Ottinger. We've talked about him a lot in net, Alex. He's the goalie of the future, the best they've got for the long term. He's played really well lately. I don't know if I want to back Dallas, even against pathetic Arizona, or and bet Dallas even in regulation here in this game if it's going to be Hudobin or someone else in net for them or Holtby. And I'm not sure I want to do that here in this game. And obviously Holtby I think has come off the injured list, so I think there's a chance you might see him, and he hasn't played for a whole lot of hockey lately for the Stars. So definitely I would only take Dallas. I'll say that right. Obviously I'm not going to back Arizona. I would only take Dallas, but there's some lingering questions I have that might keep me off the Stars, but I lean Dallas in regulation here. Alex, Stars and Coyotes.
Yeah, I want nothing to do with this side at all. I mean, Scott Wedgwood is basically the Nikolai Hobby-Bulin of this Arizona Coyotes team right now. If they need a win, he's going to be the guy in net. And shout out to some friends of mine offshore who actually posted up a win total 23.5. You can bet over or under. It's low limits, but it's a custom bet that they offered over at Bet Online for the win total for the Arizona Coyotes, because I did predict 22, 52, and 8 as the exact record for Arizona this year. So this might be one of those 22. They've already got 5. So I'm going to stay away from the side. As far as the totals go, I love this first period over. We've been seeing that cash with Dallas. They got 2 last night against Colorado, and you're getting plus money with it right now. You're not going to get that often with any teams, even a team as bad as Arizona. So I'm going to go first period over plus $1.05.
All right, first period over with Dallas, Arizona here for Alex in this one. All right, Nashville, Colorado. We've got Colorado minus 195 to minus 220 in some spots. Home favorites, 6 the total. Another situation here, and you're seeing this a lot here on the card today where you got 2 teams on the second of back-to-back games. Nashville ends up beating New Jersey 4-2, and just the wrong side with New Jersey for me in that game. I mean, it was just Nashville was better. I mean, New Jersey got off to a horrible start. They were outshot badly early in the game, and it was just too much for them to overcome. So give them credit. Big home win for them as they go on the road now for a little bit of a road trip. Actually, it's not much of a road trip. Actually, they go right back home again after this one. So just a one-game stopover, if you will, in Colorado, and then they go back home. You've got Colorado off a 3-1 loss to Dallas last night. That certainly fired a lot of rubber at Jake Ottinger, but just could not beat him in that game. He played well in net. We'll see if Colorado can bounce back. Colorado 5-0, their last 5 on the second of back-to-back games. You'd expect this to be a pretty good potential bounce back situation here for the Colorado Avalanche in this game. We've seen them. The last time Nashville came here was November 7th, a couple of years ago, and Colorado buried them 9-4. Crazy score in that game. And look, even with the guys out for the Colorado Avalanche, the key personnel, we've talked about McKinnon and Comfer for a while. Both of them remain out. They've still played pretty good hockey during this stretch. And now you get them back home after losing to Dallas yesterday. I would absolutely only look toward Colorado here in regulation in this game. Keep in mind, we saw UC Saros last night. We might see Big Save Dave, sometimes Big Siv Dave, David Riddick tonight for Nashville. Keep an eye on that. If he's in net, not only do I like Colorado in regulation, might go over 6 as well in this game. And by the way, there's some trends that point to the over in terms of Colorado. And on the back, let me just see what it was here. There's a good one that I wanted to mention here. Oh, yeah, 5-0 in their last 5 home games to the over. As of late, they've been really scoring goals in bunches, playing with great pace here on home ice. So I might ride that and be even more willing to do that if we see that it's David Riddick starting for Nashville. What do you think here, Alex? Preds and Avs.
Yeah, if it is David Riddick, then I'm going to go team total over with Colorado. I think that, like I said, they're going to be definitely fired up after drop the game. Like I said, they're on a back-to-back. They're a fairly solid team. And just naturally, like I said, I mean, it was a wrong side for New Jersey. I like the Devils in that spot too, but it wasn't exactly just like the cleanest game in the world. Now, like I said, Nashville's still up and down, spotty team, and this is definitely a step up in class for them, even with Colorado missing pieces. So, Avalanche should get the win, but I think the best bang for your buck would be going team total over.
All right, final game of this Saturday card, Winnipeg Jets, Calgary Flames. We've got Calgary minus 165 to minus 170, home favorites, 5.5 the total in this game. The Jets just, they're now in a full-on, full force losing skid right now. 5 straight now that they've dropped. It started with a shootout loss to Edmonton, lost to Vancouver. They had a great first period against Pittsburgh, and then after that, Pittsburgh took over and won 3-1. And then these last 2 road losses, I mean, outscored 10-1 by Minnesota and Columbus. So it's been very, very rough, and they're just not scoring. And Paul Maurice is saying, at times defensively we haven't played bad, but yesterday he said it. We haven't been scoring, but at least we've played solid and sound in our own zone. We didn't. In that game against Minnesota, clearly giving up 7 goals. Hellebuck was frustrated after that game. We'll see if Winnipeg can bounce back. Tough spot here because now they're going from Minnesota to Calgary, second of back-to-back games. Rested Calgary team, and not only a rested Calgary team, but obviously a Flames team that's in great form right now, 5-1 in their last 6 games. We talked about, again, where I was worried about Calgary in that first home game off the long road trip. They played Chicago, and no problem. They won that game 5-2. That's now twice in what looked like tough spots for Calgary at home off a long road trip this year. They've played good hockey, so we may not go to that well again with Calgary after a long road trip. And now the schedule has been very friendly to them because you think maybe they're a little fatigued that first home game. Well, now they've had 3 full days off since that last game that they played against Chicago. So which was on Tuesday. So all of a sudden, this team's got lots of time to rest and be ready for this game against a Winnipeg team coming here on the second night of back-to-back games and struggling. So this one's a game I'm going to pass, but it's hard not to make a case for Calgary right now with the way they're playing. Winnipeg struggling. And for now, until I see them play well and win a game, I'm done chasing this is a bounce-back spot for the Jets. Oh, this is a spot I expect them to be better. They weren't yesterday, and that was supposed to be a response from the Jets yesterday, and they couldn't have played worse. Terry Edelman, I know you're a Wild fan and a Wild homer. You have every right to say the Wild destroyed the Jets yesterday. That's exactly what they did, and I'm not betting them again until I see a win and a sign of them turning this losing streak around that they are fully involved in right now. Alex, what do you think here, Jets and Flames?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the one of the hottest streaks in hockey right now. It's been cashing 6 in a row. Go with the Calgary Flames on the first period puck line. You get a plus 150. Now it's a little dicey because, like I said, with the way Winnipeg got crushed yesterday, you wonder, okay, if they're gonna come out hot, at least they should be coming out in the first period. But Calgary's has been a solid team early, like I said, and they're rested. I just feel like Calgary's going to at least have a 1-0 or 2-1 lead after the end of the 20. So I'll take the plus 150 price there with the first period puck line on the Flames.
There you go. Calgary minus a half goal, plus 150 first period for Alex in this one. Yeah, a lot of good numbers for the Flames. Goals per game, power play, and penalty kill. They're in the top 6 in the league. And they are number 1 in the NHL as a team goals against. So 1.9 goals per game allowed for this Flames team. And look, it's been their team defense, and it's been both of their goalies. Both of them have played well. It's not Jacob Markstrom, obviously, for the most part, but whenever Dan Vladar has gotten in there for the Flames in net, he's been very good as well. So it's a complete, both ends of the ice are clicking right now for the Calgary Flames. Gaudreau and Monahan have had better seasons. Mangiapane has been a massive offensive game breaker and basically a burst out onto the scene type of season so far for him. So lots to like right now with the way Calgary is playing at the moment. Great stuff with Alex. That is the Saturday NHL card. We hope you enjoyed it. Again, hit the like button if you're watching on YouTube. Tomorrow, the show will be on at noon Eastern, but it won't be live. It'll be pre-recorded. I'm going to do a short recorded version of the show tomorrow early in the morning, record it. It'll still air at the normal time before I leave for the CFL playoff game in Hamilton. So, but you will have me talking the Sunday card for you, quick hitter style, tomorrow, starting at noon Eastern, right here on this Ice Guys YouTube channel. And of course, the podcast will be uploaded after the show as well. So make sure you tune in for that. No question. All right, before we wrap up the show, DraftKings, we got to talk about them. Of course, DraftKings, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. Great offer for the greatest sport on ice. Of course, you can take advantage of it and bet the either team to score a goal. Of course, in an NHL game, that's all it takes, and you'll be able to cash in big with DraftKings. So take advantage of that as well. Take advantage of that, and again, use the promo code THPN. That will get the job done for you. With DraftKings Sportsbook, official sports betting partner of the NHL, $100 in free bets if either team scores a goal. And all you got to do is just bet $1 on any NHL game if you're a new customer. If DraftKings Sportsbook isn't available in your state, everyone can play for huge cash prizes still with DraftKings Daily Fantasy Sports Contest. DraftKings giving all new customers a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with their first deposit. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code THPN. Throw down $1 on any NHL game. Win 100 in free bets if either team scores a goal. One puck in the net gives you a big win with promo code THPN at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. Must be 21 years of age or older. Must reside in a DraftKings Sportsbook state. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit and $1 wager required. One per customer. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, sign up for an account, and use the promo code THPN. All right, it is time for Best Bets to wrap up this edition of the Ice Guys Show. Great to see my Pub Sports Radio show colleague, Connor Mack, in the chat on YouTube. Thanks for tuning in, my friend. Always fun doing shows with you, fun doing this show, fun doing all kinds of shows here on YouTube. I'm a busy guy, and that's putting it mildly. That's for sure. No doubt about that. Work and doing shows never sleep, especially at this time of year. All right, we'll wrap it up with Best Bets for this Saturday show. Alex, what do you like for Best Bet?
Yeah, I'll just give you today and tomorrow. For today, I like the Arizona Dallas first period over 1.5 at plus $1.05. I can't remember the last time getting a plus money price with any first period over. It's been at least a couple of years. And also, we're going to go with tomorrow Lightning and Wild over 5.5 minus $1.10. You should be able to get that pretty widely available. If not now, within the next hour or two. So once you listen to the podcast, that should be available. So that's the best bet for Sunday, and then the best bet for Saturday is Yotes and Stars first period over.
There you go. A couple first period over. Best bets. We've got Dallas, Arizona for Saturday, and then Tampa Bay, Minnesota for Sunday. Two best bets, first period overs for Alex B. Smith with best bets for Saturday and Sunday. My best bet for Saturday, I'm going to go Edmonton, Vegas over 6. I like that. I think the Vegas team offensively, we saw it 5 against Nashville. They're a much better offensive team now with Max Pacioretty back, and they're starting to be able to put the puck in the net again. I think they will here in this game. On the flip side, the one thing about Vegas is, we have seen their defense, their goaltending at times. have some good games, not so good games. Well, they're going to be tested here by this juggernaut Edmonton offensive attack. So I think both teams can find the scoreboard and find the back of the net enough here to get the game over the total. So we'll go Edmonton, Vegas, over 6 for my best bet for this Saturday NHL card. And that'll wrap up this edition of the Ice Guys. We thank everybody for joining us and tuning in live. A reminder, the Ice Guys is live 7 days a week, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday and Sunday, noon Eastern. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms. Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio. Make sure you download the podcast when you can't watch the show live. For Alex P. Smith, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Saturday. Enjoy the games and good luck. And I'll talk to you again tomorrow on Sunday for another edition of the Ice Guys presented by the Hockey Podcast Network.